Hey, so I recently watched your video, Arno, and I have a response, and I want you to know that was a great video. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure most of us had no idea. Me personally, watching you for the last couple of years and kind of keeping up with the things that I can, I did notice a little bit of a change with some aspects of perhaps how you were speaking or how you looked sometimes, which sometimes doesn't mean a lot, so I never said anything. But it's really a strong message for you to put out there that you are still currently struggling with this, and I wanted to share some of my life experiences with it. I used to be on medication for depression, actually mood stabilizers for the most part, just because most depression meds reacted very, very horribly with me. I freaked my mom out one time, and she was like, I'm gonna put you in a mental institution, and I was like, I'm okay, help me get off these meds. So, it's really, trying to find the words to say is really hard right now, because I kind of feel where you're coming from. And there's points where you kind of push people away where you don't want to, and I've done that. It's easy for depression to have a serious mental effect on the way, well, I worded that incorrectly, but a serious effect on the way that you think mentally, how you approach situations physically, and how you feel when you go to sleep at night, when you're alone, when you've got to deal with everything by yourself. And it can be really hard. Right now, I am similarly going through something like that. I haven't been on my meds for over a year now, and I am currently 21. So it is definitely a big transition, but you do notice little things. My depression comes in spurts at a time where I find it hard to interact with others. I don't know what to say, or everything I say comes out harsh, kinda, like I'm morally debilitating to some people, like, oh, you've got this going on, and I'm not gonna worry about my problems, but here's your problems, type thing. That's what I do. And it can be really detrimental to the relationships in your life. So I completely get where you're coming from with that. And losing people in your life to mental illnesses and the struggle that comes with them is not easy. Excuse me, I'm hungry. And I think it's very important that you are willing to share that and talk, even if it's just over YouTube or a camera. It really does help you feel better. It takes a lot of footwork to work through some of the things that have happened in your past, and therapy does help. I was going to therapy last year for quite some time and dealing with cognitive behavior therapy, and it honestly has helped me take the next step and think outside of the box for myself. And when I run into my serious depressive spurts, the only thing I can do is try to think about all the good things that I want in my life, the goals that I have, and the people that are still there. Even if I don't have the best communication sometimes, and hurt them through my lack of empathy at points. It's very, very much a touch and go type of situation for me. So, I mean, I'm really glad I saw your video tonight, because it's been rough, and I have a lot of people to thank for being there, but a lot of people have a hard time talking to me, or maybe even taking me seriously, or treating me like a human being because of possibly the way I've acted or how I've treated myself. And it is very disheartening, and it really does help me to want to hang on to the people in my life a little harder. And I want you to know, as a fan, some friend, I know we've talked a few times and I've kind of shied away, but that's just because I'm there and I know I am, but I don't want to, like, overstep my bounds with a lot of things. Like, I want to be a friend, but I suck at talking sometimes, and a lot of times I run out of things to say because I just enjoy someone's company. And that's not too fun for people sometimes, I guess, you know. But it does start when you're younger, when you've had a lot of things happen and a lot of outside forces that are not in your control, that you're not too sure how to deal with. I used to be a self-harmer, and it did take away the emotional pain, and there were points in my recent past where I've thought about it again, but it just never seemed worth it to me. Now that I know of better coping mechanisms, I try to stay more active, I try to eat healthier. Look at this little cute mandarin orange thing, oh my god. I participate in yoga when I can. I follow a lot of the people that are in my life or were in my past on social media, just so I can see their face, just so I can remember good memories, and work through the bad ones. There's some people that I still have a hard time talking to that dislike me very much for the way that I've lashed out, or couldn't control myself, or what I said to them. And it still hurts to this day. Like, I could have been a way better person to a lot of people, but I didn't know. And depression, you're right, it doesn't go away. It can be managed, it can be helped, but it is a chemical imbalance in your brain. And I've been feeling the lows, especially now since it's winter and there's not as much sunlight and I can't go anywhere and I can't do anything right now, with a lot of environmental factors that are going on at home, stress, confrontation, mental illnesses. It's very hard to keep an upbeat outlook and to feel good about yourself. You know, that's where I'm at. I have a hard time feeling good about the situation I'm in and what I want to do, even though I know what I want to do and how I kind of want to go about it. Sometimes it's just a feeling of complete worthlessness. Why am I even here? Why do I exist in this moment? Type thing. And that is one of the most painful hits that it can bring sometimes. There are points where there's hours of crying, hours of not moving, days of not eating anything but little nibbles just to stay alive. And creative things that I do and participate in really help. They might not seem fun for a little while, but I always kind of have to talk myself into that pep of, okay, I gotta do this today, just to see if I can get a little fun out of it, or think lightly about it, and not be so serious about everything. So, yes, I am dealing with depression as well. And I'm glad that you said something. It was honestly joyful to watch your video and see where you're kind of at with things. And I'm curious to know I know music and drawing and videos and talking to people and gaming, but I'm also curious as to what lifestyle choices that you've made and changed to help your body be more endorphined, I guess, because we lack serious brain chemistry at some points, or dopamine or whatever. So I'm very curious to know where you practice raising your endorphins. Like I said, for me it's yoga. I watch a lot of YouTube videos sometimes, and I watch funny things, and that helps sometimes. I'm also into more adult aspects of it. You know, I'm not really willing to talk about that on a public thing just yet, but that can be part of it for me. Unfortunately, I turn to food a lot when I have an appetite. If I don't feel good, if I feel shitty about myself, if I feel overwhelmed, I eat a lot. And it's not a conscious thing, it's just I seem more hungry than normal and I can't stop type thing. Like it's stress eating basically. So it's a little rough sometimes. But just talking to someone and knowing that there's someone there, and there's someone who like understands, to actually see someone be very open with it is really eye-opening. It's sweet. It makes you feel like you're not the only one. Exactly what you were saying, you know. Now I know that there's someone out there who's not afraid to deal with it, who's not afraid to talk about it. And when it gets to the point where you don't feel like you have anything left or anything to fight for, when it's at the point where you kind of already expected it, but now you're hitting the lower point. You're getting deeper into it. You're lower than low, and you knew that was going to happen. What do? Like, I've been working on this myself, and with new environmental factors, the fact that I don't rely on many crutch medications anymore, and I also have to deal with everyone else's stress sometimes, I hit that point kind of a lot. And it scares me sometimes to feel so dead on the inside. Like, just dry. Like, shriveled up, you know? it is a very scary thought. But the good thing about that, in my opinion, is when you come out of it, when you tell your mind to come out of it. I've had to beg myself for hours at points to just be like, you're okay, you can do this, it hurts, you can make it stop hurting, just feel better. It definitely gives you that kick in the ass to be like, okay, I've got to do something now about this. And they have so many scientific medical ways to help with depression now. And especially with, like, you're seeing a lot of teens who are always on their phones and stuff. They have, like, studies where they fall into depression. People who are generally just happy with their life. There's a lot of people out there who don't deal with depression, who've never even understood what it felt like. And they don't understand. So when it hits them, they're just kind of like, oh shit. You know, oh shit, what do I do? I don't know what to do. What's wrong with me? Sometimes they don't know that there's anything wrong with them. They just feel like nothing. And that is becoming like a big part of a lot of the things that I am personally seeing in our society is depression and anxiety. There was a young man that I recently posted about and read about that used to be on stimulants, Adderall, and it actually affected his system so negatively that even though he was trying to go out and do things and be more proactive with his life, he was still struggling, and he was still not understanding what was happening to him. And he did end up taking his life, and may he rest in peace. I don't remember his name, but the whole point is to reach out when you need someone there. Having that person there to hold your hand and be like, hey, you are okay. You're gonna, like, move forward from this type thing. It helps so much. I can't explain to you how many times I've just been happy to hear someone's voice or feel their hand on mine. And there's been a lot of times where when there's nobody around, you kind of forget about how that feels. And that's probably one of the worst parts about the depression that I suffer with. Because to isolate and disassociate myself from others, I don't remember the warm touch, I don't remember the caring smiles in my moments of sadness. And I have to have somebody be there to pick me up and say, hey, how do you explain that to your friends? I need you there. Yes. But there's been a lot of points where some of my friends have backlashed and told me that I'm not trying. And they've told me that I am basically nothing. So it's really a who are you going to trust with your heart type deal. Well, for me anyway. It's probably not like that for everyone. So I just want you to know that even if you deal with hate, aberration, and discouragement and disbelief, I believe you, and I want to be here, as a friend, as a person. I don't know if this video will even post because it's long, but thank you for sharing, and it made my day already because it's 5 in the morning, so it made my day to talk about it and to share with you my experience with it. And I'm going to move forward one day at a time, and I hope that you do as well. Thank you for watching.